Hi guys, it's Sarah from Arlene's. I just wanted to show you some techniques with our Tombow Dual Brush Markers. They have two sides. They have a brush tip and a fine point. They're water-based and you can blend them with a wet paintbrush or you can use a clear blender that we sell as well. So today I'm going to show you how to use them with two different techniques on the fluid watercolor paper that we sell here at Arlene's. We have some pads in stock right now. This is an example of a drawing I did using the markers, and I'll show you some techniques now. First, I wanted to show you the line work you can do with them. So you can do really thick lines or really thin depending on your strokes and the tip size that you use. So this is just one example. We have many different sets that you can purchase or individual Tombow markers. Today I'm going to use, this one is 055. It's like a bright yellow. This is a light blue 451. So I'm just going to use these two with a wet paintbrush or a clear blender, palette, and watercolor paper. I like to use the Copic fine liner pens. They're waterproof, so you can do a line drawing. I did 2 line drawings of leaves, so I can show you some techniques. So they're going to be waterproof. They're not going to smear when you put the watercolor over it or marker. And they're made to also be used with alcohol ink markers. Today we're going to do a technique using a palette with the markers and a wet paintbrush, which is super fun. So I'm using these 2 colors to show you how to make a pretty leaf with some green tones to it and some highlights. So first I'm going to make some marks in my palette, and I'm just going to kind of do that. It's not really that hard or that much, it doesn't look like that much color, but when you use the technique, you can wet your paintbrush and you can get a little bit of a blue and go in with those darker tones. If you don't have enough color, you can go back in and kind of get some more color in there. This is just a different way to use the markers, so maybe you haven't thought of it before, so it's just something different to try. And you can go in and make some marks that way. Of course, you can use whatever colors you want and try to get some ideas yourself. So this is very light, as you can see. It's a very light blue. I'm just going to rinse off my brush, kind of pat it off, and go in with some yellow. The yellow is really going to go in there and mix and be really bright and vibrant. And we can also go back in later with more of the blue. You can even use some water to make this a little less vibrant if it's too bright. I'm just going to leave a couple little spots of white there, rinse off my brush, and we're going to go in with some blue. And again, I'm just showing you how to use the palette technique. Of course, you can apply the paintbrush right to the watercolor paper. All right, so we're getting the blue, and I'm just going to go back in and blend that around, and it makes a really beautiful, bright spring green. You don't have to be perfect, so don't feel bad about going over those lines. I'm also wanting to kind of show you how waterproof the pen is. I like to cap my markers in between uses just to help them not dry out over time, but whatever works for you. So this is just a light wash, nothing too fancy, but it'll dry really bright and nice. This is an example of one that I did with lots of layers using the palette technique. Okay, now we're going to do 2 colors on this leaf, and we're going to do it straight with the marker. So this time I'm going to do yellow first, and I'm just going to go in real easy and simple, not too fancy or worrying about being perfect, because this is just for fun, and it's just to try a more loose technique so that you don't feel too stressed out, and you can just have fun with your markers. I feel like that's the best way to do art, is when you're having fun. And then I'm going to go back in with some blue, and I'm going to use the marker itself, and I can blend. I can work right over top of that yellow. I can go in with some darker areas, And what I'm going to do is use the colorless blender now. So this is a little different. This is a clear marker, and I can use it to blend colors together and kind of get a different look to it. It's very subtle, but if you're doing brighter colors, it'll help you kind of move that color around if you don't want to use a wet paintbrush. If it gets a little muddy, that's okay. We can always go back in later with a liner pen or more markers. So now I'm going to use blue over top of that, kind of blend it out, make some like fake highlights, leaf areas, punch a color. I like to do lots of color in my artwork. Everybody always asks, oh, how do you get everything so bright? It's just because I play around with it and I use really fun, bright colors. In this technique, I did straight marker on watercolor paper. I went in with my liner pen at the end after I applied my color, and I sharpened some of the edges, but I was still real loose and I didn't worry about mistakes or being perfect. And I used the different marker colors to get some highlights. And I did layer a bunch of colors to get that big vibrant pink. Red, orange, and pink are really cool if you want a big punch of color. And then use the blues to make a cool kind of recede a little bit. Of course, this is just whimsical, so whatever style works for you. I hope that you come in and you pick out your favorite colors and you experiment and see what techniques you like to work with. You can combine all different kinds of techniques and see what unique art you can create with your own Tombow brush markers. And we hope to see you soon. Let us know if you have any questions, and have a great day.